but nevertheless hunger and thirst.
They take no food. So our conflicts and what we do allow them entrance. A matter of fact, you have to understand, they have no power over us. The only power they have is the power we give them. So the Jewish power that make these horror flicks about them and these scary movies and these horror flicks make you fear these spirits so that they can have power over you. But really, if you have Yeshua, they have no power over you. Let's get Matthew, the 8th chapter.
Matthew chapter 8 verse 29. And behold, they cried out saying, What have we to do with thee?
Start at the 28th verse.
Verse 28. And when he was come to the other side, in the country of the Gergesenes, there met him two possessed with devils.
There met him two possessed with devils. It was two men that had these spirits in them. Now, mind you, these spirits are from old time. And these spirits have wisdom and knowledge through time that can actually benefit mankind in wickedness. So that's the reason people deal with familiar spirits, because they want knowledge, they want understanding, they want information from the ancient. These are spirits that people are dealing with, and the Most High told us in the law that we're not to deal with familiar spirits. But why would government, why would powers, why people would like to deal with these spirits? Because they have information. They were from the beginning. They have experience. So these are the powers, these spirits and demons are the powers that our government officials and all those deal with. But this is a man that was possessed, and I want to show you something on this. Read.
There met him two possessed with devils.
Go ahead.
Coming out of the tombs.
Coming out of the tombs.
Exceeding fierce, so that no man might pass by that way.
Go ahead.
And behold, they cried out, saying, What have we to do with thee, Yeshua, thou Son of the Most High?
So they cried out because they recognized Christ. They thought that Christ was going to deal with them right there, because through Christ's power, through his name, he could have cast them into the abyss where their fathers are. Read.
Art thou come hither to torment us before the time?
Are you come to torment us before thy time? So even the spirits know they have a certain amount of time to do what they're doing on the earth. So they are actually fearful of Yeshua. They're fearful of those who are in Christ. Now you have two separate situations here. You have a situation in which one under Christ have the power to cast out spirits. And then you have those, like your government officials and your powers, who can do certain things with spirits by making agreements with them. The problem is, through the Christian church, you don't know which is which. You don't know whether or not someone have power to cast out spirits, like Christ did, or these are they that have agreement with demons, and demons leave for a time because of the agreement they have with the sorcerer or the person they made the agreement with. Here's an example of that. Give me this, the chapter and verse in Acts real quick. And Brother Lawyer looked into this, and it was about the word exorcism. Christ didn't deal with exorcism. Exorcism is something the Catholic Church put into their agreement to deal with spirits. So they're not really casting out spirits. What they're doing is agreeing for a purpose to let the demon out for a moment. In an agreement. That's what an exorcism is. They agree with spirits. They don't cast them out. Okay? And I'm going to prove that. Let's get the book of Acts. Read it.
Acts chapter 19 verse 13.
Read it.
Then certain of the vagabond Jews.
The vagabond Jews. Now these were reject. 19 verse 13. When you look at that word, adjure. First, let me give you the word exorcist. Exorcist means one to bind by an oath your illuminate powers and your governments have agreement with demons, and you think they have power, but it's actual in agreement to play a trick on the populace to make you think that they are under Christ. It says exorcist is an oath or a spell. That is an exorcism. So they use magic to so-called cast out spirits in your churches. They agree with spirits. It says here, took upon them to call over them which had evil spirits the name of the Most High, the name of Yeshua, saying, we adjure. And to believe it, that their preacher or pastor have power. But behind closed doors, they are doing rituals. Finish reading. We're going to prove that.
We adjure you by Yeshua whom Paul preacheth.
Go ahead.
Verse 14. And there were 7 sons of Sceva, of one Sceva, a Jew, and the chief of the priests, which did so.
Go ahead.
And the evil spirit answered and said, Yeshua I know.
The evil spirit said, hold up, I know Christ. I know Yeshua. Read.
And Paul I know.
I know Paul.
But who are ye?
But who are you? Read.
Verse 16. And the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them. And the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them.
So the evil spirit came out of the man they was actually doing their agreement with and jumped in them. Why? You cannot make agreement with these. Had the power to bind them or to cast them wherever he would like. You understand? He didn't make an agreement with them. Go back to Matthew. So an exorcism is an actual agreement. Like, here's an example. Just say the Pope have an agreement with Satan, because we know he do. Because he's dealing with the high spirit, all the other spirits that are under Satan, he can agree to actually have that spirit move out of a person, to play a trick on the world. That's the strong delusion. That's one of the strong delusions. When really it was an agreement to deceive the people so that the people can look at the miracles and stay within the church, or what they perceive as a miracle. But really, it's an illusion. Smoke and mirrors. All right? Go back to the place you left off at in Matthew.
Matthew chapter 8 verse 29.
Read.
And behold, they cried out saying, what have we to do with thee, Yeshua, thou Son of the Most High?
What have we to do with thee, Yeshua, Son of the Most High? Go ahead.
Art thou come hither to torment us before the time?
Have you come to torment us before thy time? Read.
And there was a good way off from them, and herd of many swine feeding. So the devils besought him, saying, if thou cast us out, suffer us to go away into the herd of swine.
So he said, listen, if you cast us out, cause us to go into the herd of swine, proving that spirits can actually go into other living beings. What happened after that? Read.
And he said unto them.
Now, why did the spirits want to be cast into the swine? Let's see. Read.
And he said unto them, go. And when they were come out, they went into the herd of swine. And behold, the whole herd of swine ran violently down a steep place into the sea, and perished in the waters.
So the pigs died in the water. So what did the demons want? What did the spirits want? Why did they want the pigs? So that they can kill the pigs and get loose and go back and find other bodies. So it proved that they can actually go into animals for a time. But their preference, like it says in Enoch, is to deal with people, to cause things to happen within people. So he said, well, okay. He knew that Christ wasn't going to cast them into another person. Christ was going to banish them into hell. So they said, listen, cast us into the swine so that they can get loose again. They killed the swine, and now they're loose to go around and to continue their attacks against mankind. This is what goes on. Spirits can also use animals for a time. Now, going back to idolatry and how this all links in. Nimrod, and it's in the two Babylons, had an agreement with Satan. He found technology. He said, listen, in order for us to do this, we have to put in a system to control the people. So Nimrod got the idea of the building of cities from Satan. Because that way you can count the people, you can program the people, you can give them traditions, you can actually concentrate on controlling a society. You can't control a society if they are spread out and are not influenced by one idea. So Satan gave him the understanding in ancient Babylon that in order to control the people, you must first make cities. Let's get in the Apocrypha where it tell you the nations have rulers. I'm going to bring this all the way around. You notice that in every city or in every empire, they build statues, they build monuments, or they have some type of esoteric symbol. Like you have the Pentagon that's in the shape of a pentagram. You have the obelisks of Egypt in Washington, D.C. You have the everything. I mean, everything is pagan in its symbolism. Why? Because Nimrod taught people. Nimrod was taught by Satan how to control the spirits in different regions of the earth. You have to use symbols to bind them for an oath or have an implication in agreement with spirits. So now you have preachers, Muslims, all these high-powered people in the earth, stars per se. You have these high people in the earth who become Masons. Why? They can now step in and utilize these spirits in the earth who are now captured or controlled by government powers. So you got the spirits that are running loose and the spirits that are in league or have an oath with government powers in this earth. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and powers, the works of evil in high places. So they needed to build constructs that can control spirits. Symbols are vortexes for demons. This is what's used for communication with spirits, or so that spirits can go in through windows and come in and out throughout the earth and travel. They work through symbolism. Like the example I gave the other day is, you would know if someone wants to invite you someplace or agree with you based on their reaction to you or your demeanor towards them. So if you're frowning and you're upset or whatever, some people might want to back up off you. But if you're welcoming and you're happy, and you extend yourself, your demeanor welcomes you to this person and vice versa. Spirits work different. Spirits know that Christ is in a lot of people, and in some people it's less than it was before, I would assume. But you have people in this earth that have the power to move these spirits right out of the way and banish them in the name of Yeshua, and they know this. So you must welcome them in based on your symbolism. So they promote symbolism in your society: the 5-pointed star, the 6-pointed star, the crescent in the moon. All these are extensions to spirit saying, I agree with you. You can come in. You can dwell with me. These are all agreements in symbolism. And this is esoteric back to Babylon. They found out that they can do certain rituals to make agreement with spirits. And that's why people hold on to their idols. It's the same relationship. Read.
Of the whole earth.
Of the whole earth. Read.
He set a ruler over every people.
He set a ruler. There's a God over every nation. God, or an angel over Israel. He himself became the God of Israel. That's why the nation worshiped gods. Read.
Whom being his firstborn, he nourisheth with discipline, and giving him light of his love, doeth not forsake him.
So that ruler over all nations is a God, a G-O-D. Every nation worshiped that God. Through esoteric worships in ancient Babylon, they learned that if we can take over the gods, we can control other countries. And that's been your spiritual warfare in the earth. It's one God against the other God. And whoever get power control that region. That is your Roman power grab of the earth. That's your one world order. Who can build the greatest Masonic construct to control the earth, like the Jewish people over in Israel today? This was their plan. This is the New World Order plan under Satan, to get all the spirits in league with them who are the synagogue of Satan and control the earth and attack and destroy the children of Israel. But the children of Israel have something more powerful than their gods, their prayer. These nations had to make a conquest, a constructed conquest that was aimed towards God's people, so that God's people could pray and empower their nation and their gods. So when our prayers leave them and we come back to our Father, now we empower our God to crush their gods. That's the understanding of the spiritual warfare in the earth. That's what Christ gave his believers. He gave us our God back. But their gods are connected to what? Get Psalms 90, 96 and 4 and 5, right? Mm-hmm. Read it.
Psalms chapter 96 verse 4.
Read.
For the Most High is great and greatly to be praised.
For the Most High is great, greatly to be praised. Read.
He is to be feared above
gods.
For all the gods of the nations are idols.
For all the gods of the nations are what?
Are idols.
Are idols. So there's an idol attached to every nation. There's a ruler attached to every nation. And that's idolatry. The Lord gave us a law and said we cannot operate like this. Now the reason the angels or the fallen or the spirits that are bound in hell. The Roman Empire worshiped the underworld. They worshiped the gods of the underworld. Those are the angels who were bound in the book of witchcraft, Christianity. All of it's all the same. Even when they do those chants, what they call
to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods.
He is something else. In order, like I mentioned, they need substance. They need something of the earth that was created to a place where someone else used to live. Because you don't know if someone prayed a spirit or a god or a demon in certain things. So these in actually abiding things dear to themselves. It could be in their trinkets, it could be in their earrings, it could be in, I mean it's nothing. It can be, it's nothing but an idol. But there's demons connected to it, and these demons give power in this earth. It's what you would call good luck charms. What they call a charm. Okay? So what I'm talking about is real. This is what happens within the earth. So the Most High is calling us to separate ourselves from idols. Pictures that's idolized, statues. And I'm going to tell you, our people, I'm talking about black people right now, are some of the biggest idolaters on earth. Mm-hmm. We'll go into a shop and think we're getting some Afrocentric artifact. You have this big black ugly mask with hair right off, and you'll put it on your wall and don't know that a voodoo preacher probably prayed a spirit over it. Or you'll get a statue of a jackal of a jackal from Egypt, or some type of artifact that you think is art. The Roman Empire are hiding their idolatry through art. It's straight idolatry, and 9 times out of 10, you're bringing a demon or spirit in your house. This is how they do it. And your masons, your powers, they are in agreement with these spirits. They are in full agreement with them. And another example we gave the other week. How did the children of Israel get their golden calf? They received their golden calf by the jewelry on their person. They broke off their earrings and all their jewelry and made the idol. Why? That's what it was before they made it. It was their idol. The Most High says we're not supposed to covet any substance. Now, I'm not saying that people shouldn't wear what they want to wear. I'm just showing you what they are. We give to it by making it precious and idolizing it and turning those things into a god. There's some other is looked down upon all right. With that, we're going to conclude this until tomorrow, and I'll open it up for questions. But I wanted to show you the connection between the Illuminous powers. One other thing I wanted to bring out. Dan. Alright? After the fall of Egypt. That's the reason when you look at Dan, who was not too far from Mount Seir. That's the reason when you look at Dan, who was not too far from Mount Seir. Dan had a smaller portion of Israel or Canaan than any other tribe. They were the smallest. Not because they were the smallest in number. All of them did not go into Israel. There was a faction, a large faction of them that went out. It tell you in Jasher that certain times Dan wasn't mentioned in the Exodus. Why? Because a lot of them got on boats and went over into Greece. And they became the Spartans. So when you look at 300 in Sparta, those were Dan. We're going to bring this all out. And Dan never those Danites never received the commandments that was given to Moses. Therefore, they took the witchcraft practices of Egypt over to Greece to hand them one day to who? Philip of Macedonia, Alexander the Greek, to continue the witchcraft from Egypt to Greece to Rome. So Dan was behind taking Egyptology worships and those gods over to Europe. That's going to be in a teaching coming soon. Going into the lesson, because y'all missed this lesson and I thought we should share in it a little bit. What is the importance of this world's connection with idols? Now, when I talk about idols, you notice in the Catholic Church they have all these different symbols. They have a statue of Mary, or what they call Mary, which we know is nothing different than Diana, and the worship of Venus, and the child, which is a representation of Jupiter, or the Yule child of Tammuz of ancient Babylon. But with every worship and prayer comes some physical substance like an idol. You notice even in your Catholic Church, they have what you would call rosary beads, something like that, right? They call it rosary beads. In it, you know, it's a compilations of different stones, usually linked into a cross. Why do people reverence substance and have a worship linked to physical things like wood and stone and metal? We found out, according to the scriptures and according to this world, why. I'm going to give y'all some understanding. I don't want to let the full cat out. We'll be teaching in the academy, so I don't want to bring it all out, because we want to make sure we ration it out and give you the information as we can receive it. But in a nutshell, it's pretty deep. The reason they have these idols attached to every religion. In Islam, you have the rock or the Kaaba. In the Middle East, you have all types of different idols. In ancient Babylon, you had idols. The Roman Catholic Church is filled with idols. You go into your church, and there's symbolism and idols every place. And there was an origin of idols. So let's go to the book of Enoch. We're going into the book of Enoch, and then I'll take you into the Bible and the Apocrypha to show you why the nations deal with idols. What's significant, and why people cannot physically let their superstition. Abraham himself, his father Terah was an idolater. All right? So I'm going to show you, according to scripture, why people hold dear to substance. See, it tells us in the commandments, Exodus 20, that thou shalt not have no other God before the Most High. And he explicitly told his people not to make unto them anything that's in the heaven above or the earth beneath. There was a reason for that. What was the spiritual implication of that? Why did the Most High want Israel to stay away from those practices? We'll show you. Why is it that when it comes to substance, be it your ring, why do you call it precious? Why do you hold dear to these things as if they have life, and value material more than life itself? What is your spiritual connection to these things? I'm going to say this. Is over your jewelry. What people is actually bringing jewelry to you? Why do they promote jewelry? Why this time of year, especially during the time of Christmas? Everything you see is about adoring jewelry. Jewelry itself, Jewry, links directly to the Jewish wizards. Back in old time, there was people who knew how to trap spirits in material. They would trap a genie, or what you would call in the Middle East a jinn. But they needed physical substance to do it. So you need something. You need earthy clay. You need something that's made of the Most High substance to hold these spirits with different incantations. This practice has been known through the Illuminati powers. That's why they deal with their symbolisms and they build their statues. This practice goes back to ancient Babylon, how to control spirits. And these Jewish powers are not just cutting diamonds. What they're doing, they're praying spirits in a lot of these materials and selling them to you. And you're making unto yourselves idols. But they promote it innocently. It's an innocent promotion, but really you're being controlled by a spirit. There's nothing more precious than the Most High's creation, than what He created, man. So, when the Most High said, do not make unto thee any graven image, He understood that these spirits would be prayed into these idols, and that people will reverence and hold dear other gods and substance opposed to Him as the God of all gods. All right? Now, I'm going into the origin of spirits. When did this thing come on the scene of demons in the earth? When did this happen? Genesis 6, and get the book of Jude 1 and 6 and 1 and 13. And also get Job, the first chapter, the 6th verse. We wrestle not with flesh and blood. These Jewish powers are sorcerers. This is what you didn't know. The Jewish powers are over the Illuminati. There's secret Israel, and Israel don't know who to war against. People that are over the world, over the bank system, over your thought, over your education, over your religion, that own your banks, these people are sorcerers. You notice their movies, they push sorcery big time. Gandalf, Lords of the Rings, Harry Potter, these wizards. They have many wizards. I know a lot of you think that this war against Iraq and Iran, some of you think that these wars are just physical wars with armies, but no. You must first take the spirit and control the spirit of a territory. And they know this before you can take the land. Before they went into Iraq, America sent an army into the palace of Saddam Hussein and found genie bottles. As far as the eye can see in his palace, in one room was nothing but genie bottles or gin bottles. Bottles that held spirits that gave Saddam Hussein power. They had to take his spirits to control the region. We're not wrestling with flesh and blood. Before the Jewish powers took Israel, where were the hierarchy or the spiritual rabbis and sorcerers? They were in ancient Babylon. They were in Iraq, learning ancient witchcraft practices in 1948 before they flooded Israel with Europeans. Do your research. They've cast a spell on the world. They have cast a spell. Why? Through manipulation, education, through programming, they were able to hide and reflect and deflect the blame. This is what they did. Some people don't even know. You relate the fall of black people or slavery. Most of us relate that to Christian Europeans that came over to the New World. That couldn't be further from the truth. Jewish. George Washington, Jewish. Benjamin Franklin, Jewish. So this new one, this one world order that we're talking about, none of the founding fathers were Christians. They were all esoteric, demon worshiping Jewish sorcerers. But through Hollywood, now Hollywood is an interesting word because that's the wood the Druids used in Europe to make magic wands and cast spells on people. So through Hollywood, they made you believe what they wanted you to believe while they control the earth through sorcery and witchcraft. All right? So, how did they get their power? What is the origin of the spirits that they are in league with right now? Let's go into it. We have to go into the beginning. Go to Genesis 6:1. Read.
Genesis chapter 6 verse 1. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth.
When men began to multiply on the face of the earth, read.
And daughters were born unto them.
These are people having daughters. Go ahead.
That the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose.
So they went and took them wives and did what?
And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years.
Go ahead.
There were giants in the earth in those days.
There were giants in the earth in those days. Giants is Nephilim. There was Nephilim. Where did the Nephilim come from? The Nephilim came from the mixture of the daughters of men with angels, who are called in this chapter the sons of God. Read.
And also after that.
And also after that. It happened after the flood. Read.
When the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown.
Men of renown, giants, titans. They were like gods on earth. This is the origin of your gods. This is your Greek mythology. There's a movie out called Clash. Judgment was given on their children that they would fight and kill themselves off through a war. That's your Clash of the Titans. All these animals that you see in these movies were real. Before the flood, the Most High flooded the earth because of the splicing of animals. Because if he didn't stop these new hybrid beings, consumed. And these same sorcerers that are in the earth today are trying to use legislation and technology to do today like they did during the days of Noah. The mixture of people, DNA, making alternative animals. They're doing the same thing today to kill off the Most High's creation. How do we know that these sons of God in Genesis 6 are angels? Let's read the book of Job 1 and start at the 6th verse.
Job chapter 1 verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Most High.
Go ahead.
And Satan came also among them.
And Satan came also among them. Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou?
Where are you coming from? Go
then
ahead.
Satan answered the Most High and said, From going to and fro in the earth?
I was just in the earth to show you every sundown the angels report to the Most High. And at that time, Satan, the fallen angel Lucifer, who turned Satan, was able to go before the throne and report to the Most High. So the sons of God are angels. Okay? That's in the spiritual plane. We're the sons of God on the terrestrial plane. The sons of God you read of in Genesis 6 are the what they would call extraterrestrial, coming down to deal with the terrestrial. Okay? Now, go to 1 Peter 2 and 4. 2 Peter 2 and 4. Read it.
2 Peter chapter 2 verse 4. For if the Most High spared not the angels that sinned.
If the Most High spared not the angels that sinned, what was their sin? Their sin was coming down to the earth, posing as some of these women's husbands too. It'll tell you that in the book of Jubilees. And sleeping with women and bearing children. Read.
For if the Most High spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell.
But cast them down to hell, we know that they are in hell. The angels that did this are bound. Go ahead.
And delivered them into chains of darkness.
And he delivered them into chains of darkness. Go ahead.
To be reserved unto judgment.
To be reserved unto judgment. So the angels that did this are the fathers of demons. And I'm going to prove that. They are the fathers of demons. Go to the book of Jude, the 1st chapter and the 6th verse.
Jude chapter 1 verse 6.
Read it.
And the angels which kept not their first estate.
The angels which kept not their first estate was the heavens. That's where they lived. Estate is habitation. Read.
But left their own habitation.
Go ahead.
He hath reserved in everlasting chains.
Now they're in everlasting chains until judgment. Read.
Under darkness until the judgment of the great day.
Until the judgment of the great day. Until after the 1,000-year reign of Christ. Then they'll be judged. That's why it tell you in the book of Corinthians, know ye not that ye shall judge angels? What angels? At the very end, the elect will judge the fallen angels that are still fallen unto this day. Like Enoch judged the fallen angels before the flood. Read 13.
Verse 13.
Go ahead.
Raging waves of the sea, foaming out of their own shame. Wandering stars.
They are what?
Wandering stars.
They were wandering stars. So these angels were stars. And that's why you have in your worships, in your Greek mythology, you have your involuntarily worshiping of planets and angels. It's worshiping of the stars. These are wandering stars. Read.
To whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever.
Whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. You notice when someone become rich and famous in our society, they are called stars. So some people might ask, well, what do being a good singer or a good actor like Denzel Washington or being a popular person, what did it have to do with you being a star? A lot of people don't know that rabbis over synagogues are gatekeepers. What they do, they get riches and power by presenting souls. So when you go through, when you go into the music business or into entertainment, who's over them? Jewish powers. So if you got a certain talent, they'll take you to a rabbi, you sell your soul, and you get a star that's over you that can help you win in this society, that can help you get anything you need while you're in the earth. But it requires sacrifice in your soul. The rabbis get paid for this. They are gatekeepers. That's what your Jewish rabbis are. They look for the talent, they make an agreement with the talent, and then they bring people behind closed doors. That's your illuminous agreement you have with your LeBron James and all your different stars. Every one have a Jewish connection. Every last one. And who do the Jews reverence? Their sorcerer. Who is their sorcerer? Their rabbi. Where did the rabbi get their research and their teachings? Ancient Babylon. But I don't want to go too far off track, but I want you to see the significance of how everything ties in. It all ties into the involuntary worshiping of demons. And demons cannot work without an established people pushing their program. And it all links together. Idolatry, sorcery, witchcraft, the destruction of God's people. Finish reading.
Verse 14. And Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these.
And Enoch spoke of these. Go ahead.
Saying, Behold, the Most High cometh with 10,000s of his saints.
Say that again.
Behold, the Most High cometh with 10,000s of his saints.
The Most High come with 10,000 of his saints. Now notice that it says Enoch prophesied of these things to show you that Jude was reading Enoch. So why is it that we cannot read this passage Jude is quoting in the Bible? Why? Because if you find the information, you will actually expose the spirits that the Catholic Church is worshiping. So they don't want you to know that this happened, because you would be able to identify them as Satan worshippers, idolaters. So they could not give you the information of Enoch. Why? Because they're worshiping the fallen angels. So they taught in their theologian schools, no, there was no fallen angels. This in Genesis, those are the sons of Cain, or the sons of Seth, sleeping with the daughters of Cain. Lie. They are hiding the gods they are worshiping. Why? Because if they fear that if this information get out, the people will stop worshiping their gods. Your worship give their gods power. Your worships and prayers to their gods, even in ignorance, fuel this empire. So when we bring our prayers back to the Father, their empire dwindles, it falls. Read it again.
Verse 14. And Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these.
So what did Enoch prophesy?
Saying, Behold, the Most High cometh with
1,000 of his saints. Read.
to execute judgment.
Go ahead.
And to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds, which they have ungodly committed, and all their hard speeches, which ungodly sinners have spoken against him.
Now I need you to read that same passage in the book of Enoch. The book of Enoch, the first chapter, 1 and 9. Read it.
Enoch, chapter 1, verse 9.
Read it.
And behold, he cometh with 10,000 of his holy ones.
He cometh with 10,000 of his holy ones, 10,000 of his saints, the same as we see in the book of Jude. Read.
To execute judgment upon all.
To execute judgment upon all. This is what Jude was reading. Go ahead.
And to destroy all the ungodly, and to convict all flesh of all the works of their ungodliness,
Go ahead.
which they have ungodly committed, and of all the hard things which ungodly sinners have spoken against him.
That's the same we see in the book of Jude. All right, so this is what Jude was reading from. Okay? With the book of Enoch, you understand the course of years. You understand future judgment. Enoch was showed everything. And he was used to judge the angels that came down to sleep with women. And he, at this time, he was king and priest. He was so righteous, the Most High took him. He was translated into the heavens. But yet, there's no reading material on him in the Bible. Why? The Catholic Church want to hide the gods they are worshiping. Let's go to the book of Enoch, the 6th chapter. Start at the first verse. Read it.
Enoch, chapter 6, verse 1. And it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters.
Read it again.
And it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters.
It was born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. Read.
And the angels, the children of the heaven.
And the angels, the children of the heaven, to show you they're the Most High sons also. Read.
Saw and lusted after them.
They looked down and lusted after the women. See, and that's why it tells us in the book of Corinthians, the 11th chapter, that a woman should keep her head covered because of the angel. Why? Because the angels were enticed before the flood and sin came into the earth. Same exact thing. We're in the book of Enoch 6 and 1. Read.
And the angels, the children of the heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men.
Let us choose us wives from among the children of men. Read.
And beget us children.
And let's make children. Read.
And Sanjaza, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear you will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecation.
So these angels made an oath. Read.
Not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing.
Go ahead.
Then swear all they together, and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it.
So they agreed. Go ahead.
And they were in all 200, who descended in those days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon.
So you had 200 angels come down on the summit of Mount Hermon, whom in Greek mythology it's called Mount Olympus. You notice in your movies, Paramount, you have stars coming down through the sky, down around a mountain on your Hollywood screens, to show you the angels or the stars that are being worshipped through Hollywood. These are the stars that the Jewish powers are worshiping, or the gods they're worshiping. Now, they bear Nephilim. It's going to show you. Read.
Who ascended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon.
Go ahead.
And they called it Mount Hermon.
And they call it Mount Hermon. Go ahead.
Because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it.
Go ahead.
And these are the names of their leaders.
I don't even want to go into their leaders. Let's go into the children they had. Let's go down to when the Most High called Enoch up to the throne after he was translated. Now this is how it was. Enoch at one point used to come out every day and teach. And then he started coming out once a week. Then once a month. After that, once a year. Then he was then once every 5 years. Then they barely seen him. And then he was gone altogether. He was translated before the Father. Alright? Let's get the judgment of the fallen angels. Let's start at 12 and 1.
Enoch, chapter 12, verse 1. Before these things Enoch was hidden, and no one of the children of men knew where he was hidden.
So they looked up and they didn't know where he was. Talking about Enoch. It tell you in the Bible that Enoch was translated. He was taken. He didn't die. The Most High took him into the heavens for this specific purpose. Read.
And no one of the children of men knew where he was hidden, and where he abode, and what had become of him. And his activities had to do with the watchers.
And his activities had to do with the watchers. Who are your watchers? Your watchers are the angels that were supposed to watch men and report back to the Most High. And you notice they have satellites, the same number of satellites around the earth today, which are called digital angels. These fallen angels, their children have given technology to man to actually put watchers back out in space through electronics to do the same courses they did around the earth before they fell. Digital angels are satellites. Read.
And his activities had to do with the watchers.
And his activity had to do with the watchers. Go ahead.
And his days were with the holy ones.
And his days were with the holy ones. He was up where the Father is with the heavenly realm, with the angels. Go ahead.
And I, Enoch, was blessing the Most High of Majesty, and the King of the ages. And lo, the watchers called me, Enoch the scribe, and said to me, Enoch, thou scribe of righteousness, go declare to the watchers of the heaven who have left the high heaven, the holy eternal place.
So he said, I need you to go and declare to these angels. Read.
And have defiled themselves with women.
Now mind you, when Enoch went to speak to them, they have already defiled the earth. The blood of the man, earth. The blood of the man, the blood of men was crying out to the Most High. The angels heard it. So the Most High said, listen, go get Enoch. Enoch was translated, and now the Most High is telling Enoch what he's to do based on this sin in the earth that will eventually destroy mankind.
Do, and have taken unto themselves wives.
They took unto themselves wives. Go ahead.
Ye have wrought great destruction on the earth, and ye shall have no peace, nor forgiveness of sin. And inasmuch as they delight themselves in their children, the murder of their beloved ones shall they see. And over the destruction of their children shall they lament, and shall make supplication unto eternity. But mercy and peace ye shall not attain. And Enoch went out and said, Azazel, thou shalt have no peace.
He told Azazel, thou shalt have no peace. Read.
A severe...
All right. All praises be to the Almighty. Our Wednesday broadcast. I'm Elder Ricard Shiar, live with you, brothers and sisters, on this Wednesday. And do we have a topic for you this evening? Make sure it's you're up. You got it. We're going to open up the call lines if the opportunity affords itself. Now, let's go right in. I mean, that's a woman's conversation. Which is the star of Moloch.
For the children.
Start at the 10th verse. And you follow us. Read.
Verse 10. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil.
It says the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil. So it was told to Rebekah before to allow that prophecy to be fulfilled. So, but in case you think that, because it is taught in Christian churches today, and I'm going to show you why later, why they teach that Jacob was a deceiver and he was wrong, and they call him the deceiver in churches. When in the New Testament it tells us why the Most High set a scenario for Jacob to get the birthright. Go to Romans, the 9th chapter, and read. Let's start at the 11th verse.
Romans 9 and 11. For the children.
Start at the 10th verse. And you follow us. Read.
Verse. Also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil.
It says the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil. So it was told to Rebekah before they was born. Before they were born. Before Jacob side pottage. Before Esau was in the field. It was said to her what?
That the purpose of the Most High, according to election, might stand.
That the purpose, according to election, might stand. The Most High elected Jacob before he was born to get the birthright and the blessing. So we can't look at the scenarios that allow that to happen and point to that and say that Jacob is wrong. Read.
Not of works.
Not of works. It's nothing they did, but what?
But of him that calleth.
But of him that calleth. It's the Most High that called Jacob to be the chosen. Read.
It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger.
It was said to Rebekah, the elder shall serve the younger. The pottage was just a scenario to allow that prophecy to come to pass. Read.
As it is written.
As it is written where? In the Bible. In the book of Malachi. What's written?
Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
Jacob have the Most High loved, but Esau have he hated. Okay? Now he loved Jacob because he gave his laws, statutes, and commandments to Jacob. In the Old Testament, Jacob is called the Most High's woman. Okay? He's the wife of the Most High. Why? Because these are the people the Most High will give his laws, statutes, and commandments to execute his power in the earth. To show the earth righteousness. It says, Esau have I hated because Esau was the reverse of Jacob. Esau is setting up things contrary to the laws of the Most High. And we're going to show that. The serpent seed and the woman seed. We're going to show that. Okay? So it's not of works, but the Most High that calleth. He chose one. And some of you might feel a certain type of way about that and say, well, that's not right. Hold up. Even the image of the Most High, which are humans, have choice. Okay? I decided to put a white shirt on this evening. Now, I have different color shirts in my closet. But because the shirts belong to me, I can choose what shirt I want to put on. The yellow shirt can't jump out of my closet and say, why you didn't wear me? I own the white shirt and the yellow shirt and the red shirt and the green shirt. So the other shirts can't come and say, why don't you wear me? I chose my shirt. So if we can choose, cannot the Most High? So that means the Most High have put attributes in the image of him that he didn't even give himself. Okay? So yes, the Most High do choose. And you're going to find out through that choice that Lucifer, or Satan, that's who he is now, used this scenario between these two children as a pretext to link to the hurt child. To link to the child that was hurt, that felt deprived, because he felt deprived when he was hurled. To bring forth government and religion. Since the Most High didn't want to give Esau the blessing and the birthright, Satan promised him the world and to hand Jacob over to him if he would serve and set up a world for Satan so that the people could worship Satan. We're going to prove that. That's where your pagan beliefs come in at. He couldn't do it with Nimrod. Nimrod was finished. He tried it before the flood. The Most High flooded the earth. He tried it with Nimrod after the flood. The Most High split the tongue. Now, Satan is trying it again. I'm going to show you. He can only link into you if you are emotional or if you're dealing with some type of
hatred towards your brother. And you're going to find that Satan linked in with Esau. And we're going to show you the point that he linked into him. Okay, we're going to show you that point. He linked into Esau to set governments and a structure in the earth where Satan could rule and be worshipped as the Most High. But let's get to the blessing to show you why Esau got so angry or became so angry. Go to Genesis 27:1. Start at the first verse. Read.
Genesis 27:1. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old, and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son, and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here am I. And he said, Behold now, I am old, I know not the day of my death. Now therefore, take, I pray thee, take weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison, and make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat, and bless thee before the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat of thy father, such as he loveth.
Now let's show this. Examine this for a second. All right. She overheard Isaac telling Esau to go make some meat. So Esau go to hunt. Right? She overheard this and go get Jacob and say, No, Jacob, I'm going to make this food for you just the way your father loved it. Right? Now just examine this for a second. Some of you might think she's wrong for doing this. But why is Rebekah doing this? Remember the children struggling in their womb? And she went and asked the Most High, why is this pain so hard? Why am I hurting like this? And the Most High says, 2 nations are in thy womb. There's a fight in your womb, woman, and the elder child shall serve the younger. There was fighting so much that even at the end, when it was time for her to deliver the baby, he had his hand on Esau's heel. There was fighting in the womb the whole time. And the Most High told her, listen, the elder shall serve the younger. Yes. So now, she's helping the prophecy be fulfilled. She cannot let Esau come back with that venison and get the blessing, knowing that the Most High gave her the information to know that that blessing belonged to her son Jacob. Now, why didn't Isaac know this? Because the Most High didn't tell Isaac. He told Rebekah. Okay? Read.
Verse 11. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man.
He said, but hold up, I'm smooth. Esau is hairy. I'm not going to be able to get away with this. What did the mother say?
Verse 12. My father peradventure will fill me, and I shall see to him as a deceiver. And I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing.
Go ahead.
And his mother said unto him,
Go ahead.
Upon me be thy curse, my son.
She said, let the curse be on me. She knew everything was going to be all right. Because the Most High told her before the children were born. Read.
Only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. And he went, and fetched, and he brought them to his mother. Loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of the eldest son Isaac, which were with her in the house, and put upon them Jacob her son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave
So that's how hairy this guy was. Esau was so